quickly?
Because it's an Apple product.
Is Redneck?
What if I need to review changes from a client?
Mm.
I'm trying to work. I can't.
All right.
I'm trying to get it done with. I've been doing it for
I got
a month
levels.
and a
I'm
half.
trying to see my screen all the way across. Oh, I thought that was a dog.
Hey.
That's your legs.
Should I request to be in Redneck Tech Podcast
No.
live?
No.
You shouldn't.
No.
So we are Instagram live. We're YouTube live. We are not.
Probably want to monitor.
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, there we go.
Oh.
All right. We are not live like we used to be because turns out our encoder died. So we're on here a few minutes early. Well, 3 minutes early. We thought we were going to be really early, but still only got it by 3 minutes. But it is a first for us to actually be early.
Yeah, usually we're about 5 minutes late.
You know
which
why
is
we're early?
Their fault.
That looks like butt.
It
You know
does
why we're
look
early?
But
real
if I
bad.
tilt it forward anymore, it's going to fall over.
We're early because there's a female here keeping us on track.
I'm pretty late usually.
Don't look at me like that.
So there's nothing I can. If you want to fix it, you're more
No,
than welcome.
I'm not. I'm just like,
your
screen. It's foggy, bro.
dude, you're taking pictures of the ball game with a foggy screen. I was just trying to help you out. Caleb was critiquing the people's picture-taking abilities in front of
He
us.
was.
It's
Yeah.
just part of my DNA.
There was a
I
dude
can't
in
help
front
it.
of us had his phone horizontal, and he was like zooming in and out, and Caleb's literally like,
I was trying to
just-
subliminally.
It's like that meme of the kid in the classroom. His face is red because he was not saying something.
Well, I was trying to
That's Caleb trying not to tell that guy, "Hey, you're degrading the picture quality of the picture by
I was
zooming in like that."
subliminally telling him that he was messing up.
oh, I need to hide this Coke.
God.
Can you go to the YouTube on there?
Yeah. So I don't get my notes at all. I still don't get my notes. Is that what you're saying?
Just gotta shoot from the hip, bro.
What do you need me to do?
I got it. Gotta open my email.
Look, our social media girl said that we needed engagement, and that's what we're trying to do.
And
So.
how are we
We are
doing?
on. I'm on YouTube.
We normally have like
Interrupted
6
Steve.
people.
Steve.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was.
I brought that upon us,
It's
by
like
the way.
it's like we all planned that. We need to do that with every person who joins. Just stop mid-sentence and say their name like that.
All right. So we got
Hey,
Instagram
Lauren Brady.
live.
Lauren.
Hey, Lauren. And if you can see, can you not see River in there? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you can see
unfortunate.
his foot.
Oh, you can
And-
barely see him.
The guy that trained River, Adam Campbell, is actually watching us.
Nice. Yeah, this is
That's a new horrible thing that will
so
never.
the
will
last
never stop.
podcast we did with Mike's Archery went so very off the rails in the best of ways. And I've got a feeling that it's going to be a regular thing. It's going to be a regular
If
thing.
I have anything to do with it.
And, you know, one of the, and Lauren, I'm going to ask you this on the podcast, and we'll try to remember to ask you. We were, and I don't know how to feel about this,
Okay.
is some of the New York guys told us that they were really glad that we weren't buttoned up and professional. They were thinking they were coming to a class that was going to be like really professional, and they were really glad it wasn't that way. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about that. Because you came to the class last year, and would you say this year's class was more structured and more well planned out than
Yes.
last? You would?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We actually got
I
something
took less
accomplished.
time planning this year's podcast or this year's class than I did their
Yeah,
class.
we started it on Tuesday and people showed up Thursday.
Yeah. Well, he's not lying.
Do you think because you kind of had a rundown from last year and you kind of knew what to expect?
Maybe pull this closer to your mouth.
I
Thing's
I laughed too loud.
It's not like
that's
it's not
okay.
like you
No,
don't
we
have
have a
podcast.
limiter on.
It's got a limiter. You're good.
Sorry, Lauren
Because
Brady.
the further away, see how it changes that
Yeah,
much? It's got to be
yeah.
like right up against
Lauren
your mouth.
Brady
better?
doesn't have a podcast, so she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah. I've never been on a podcast before. You have one.
All three of you said that at the same time.
Which, by the way, only Ryer has been asked to be on that podcast.
Yeah.
By the way,
I
We will-
wasn't. I was going to bring that up later.
We still can. Just
Make it up
slide
twice.
that away.
All right, I'm just going to head out.
All right, so it's
dog stays.
I'm going to head out.
Dog
It's
stays.
3:31. If you're on the podcast on YouTube or Instagram, we're live on both. Feel free to ask questions throughout, or we might save some of the better ones for after. You can ask Lauren questions. You can ask us questions. If you don't know, Lauren is the social media guru for us and some of our other brands, and she also came to the class last year. We're going to talk about all that on the podcast in just a minute. So Questions, Instagram, or YouTube. All right, let's do this thing.
What are you doing with that?
The Redneck Tech Podcast is brought to you by Mike'sArchery.com. They're a one-stop shop for virtually everything archery, bow hunting, and for your next outdoor adventure. Mike's Archery has been at the top of the archery game for over 50 years, and they want to give listeners of the Redneck Tech Podcast 10% off their entire online store using the code REDNECK10, all one word. Just put the code in before you check out, and your boys will hook you up. The guys at Mike's have always been good to us, and now they can be good to you too. Visit Mike'sArchery.com and get your gear now.
Right here. Yeah. You want it? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are on the Redneck Tech Podcast. This is episode 132, and we have the Lauren Brady, in our studio today. And for those of you that don't know Lauren, we first met her through Rolling Thunder game calls in Spencer Halford last year. He sent some of his crew to come to the class, the Redneck Tech Podcast production class. This was, last August?
Yeah, last August, because I had a Snapchat memory that came up.
Oh, nice. So that was virtually almost perfectly a year ago.
Yeah.
She came to the class. We had never met before. We all hit it off, had a great time. She learned nothing from the class.
That is not true.
And then we, 9 months later?
Yeah.
We found a way to work with each other. So Lauren is working on social media for some of the brands that we work with. She's also managing the Copeland Creative Instagram, just because terrible at it. And it made sense for us to have somebody that we have tons and tons and tons of really great content, but
Like a stupid amount of content.
but we don't
very stupid amount
but
of
we
content.
don't know the best way or have the time or the foresight or the thought to post and be purposeful with our posts. And we're going to get into this a little bit. Essentially showcase what we do and what we're capable of and the people we work with and that kind of thing. So we don't use it as what some people might use it for, is like keep friends updated or try and get free stuff. We use it as literally just a resume for kind of the stuff that we do and the people we work with. So we were doing an okay job. We needed somebody to do a better than an okay job. So that's why Lauren is doing that. And she's also working with a couple other brands and people. And then she's got some on her own that she does as well, too. So she is now off on her own just doing social media and photography and videography. So she's kind of doing a lot of what you guys that come to the class wanted to do. She is now doing. So that's awesome. And 100% of the credit goes to us.
Absolutely.
Code REDNECK10.
Code REDNECK10. So
I'm half challenging Clay to see who can get the most redneck 10s.
Oh God!
in an
All right, so
episode.
you've got what, 2 now? Are we keeping up? Or is it kind of like the challenge?
I get one every time automatically because it's my voice at the beginning.
Oh.
So that's 2 for Ryer.
So is this like
That's
the challenge?
2 redneck 10s. Oh, 3 redneck 10s?
Okay,
4
shut
redneck
up.
10s?
Dude, all right, it's getting ridiculous
You're
now.
disqualified.
So it's kind of like did you ever play the game where you go to Chick-fil-A and see how many times they can get them to say
My pleasure.
my pleasure?
I'm thinking more about the meow game from Super Troopers.
Meow, yeah,
Meow, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, meow?
yeah. So I want Lauren to introduce herself. I introduced her as far as we know her. We know she's a big waterfowl. She's from Mississippi, but I want her to introduce herself.
Yeah, so I'm Lauren Brady. A lot of people call me LB.
LB.
That name, it actually kind of got started in middle school basketball.
Okay.
And it just stuck. I mean, I thought I'd lose it in college, and it kept on. So
Rolls off the tongue though. LB, what's up?
yeah, just LB.
You must have bulldozed people on the basketball court like a linebacker.
I mean,
That's where that came from.
absolutely.
I'm cool with that.
I'm from small town Mississippi, North Mississippi, kind of Memphis area. Grew up in the outdoors. My dad used to take me deer hunting all the time. We ran deer dogs.
Oh, nice. I have never done that.
It is crazy. It's different. it's fun and you get to laugh and ride around in a truck. And I did that till I was probably in my teens.
It's a lot like waterfowling. It's a social event.
It is. And I think that's why I enjoyed that and why I enjoy waterfowl hunting so much.
Yeah.
That kind of community aspect of it. Then I got into duck hunting and was ate up and went off to college. Went to Mississippi State, graduated from there. Got a Bachelor of Arts in Communication with minors in marketing, public relations, and broadcasting.
Nice.
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of
sounds like, I
school.
was about to say, it sounds like an overachiever.
I mean, a little bit.
You and
Don't look at me, Ryer.
yeah, you and Clay are like BFFs.
I was
Clay's
just
got
saying, y'all should compare degrees.
Well, he's got 14 degrees and he doesn't use any of them. So
Yeah, he's not doing anything with his accounting degree.
he told me
You
he's
have an
going to.
accounting degree, Clay?
Counting, digital media, marketing, and then I just graduated marketing.
Wow. So
Yeah,
he should do your
He
taxes.
thought he was getting.
Thank you.
I think he thought he was getting a raise from that, but
I have a degree in the School of Hard Knocks.
yeah. So of the people that have degrees, well, I guess you actually are using yours. Right, Clay's a little bit, and I'm not. I mean, not really.
Listen, mine.
You're all that money you saved.
Hell yeah.
So you went off on your own about how long ago?
I would say February. February, I kind of was like, my life has been so caught up in the hunting industry, and I love the hunting industry. I love working in it. And
I'm starting to not love it, but go ahead.
Well, that's just right now. When you get back in a tree stand, we'll talk.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
That's right. And I just realized that my knowledge and everything that I've learned and my networking and communication skills could be outside of the hunting industry.
I want you to look. I want you to just look, though. What you just said. What was my next line item? Networking. That's how you do it, guys and girls. Like, I didn't even prompt her, and she said networking, because that's exactly what I want to talk about. Because
Bro, is this Inception?
it kind of is, because I can't put a value. I can't speak enough about networking and how important it is and how far it's gotten me in this business, honestly not knowing what I'm doing most of the time.
Right.
Just becoming friends with people, talk people to go do this, invite them to go hunt and take them to lunch, hang out,
And lunch is a great one.
Yeah.
I love a lunch.
Speaking
Lunch
speaking
is
of,
one of my top 3 meals of the day.
oh, 100%. God dang. You're
That
just,
might be the stupidest thing you've ever said.
well,
But also, 100% the smartest.
so how important, and we can all chime in on this, but I want obviously Lauren to answer first. How important has networking been just since February from you?
Everything. I
Yeah.
mean, I've
What is happening? They're killing me. I can turn
Clay.
the mics off and we can.
No, Clay whispered in my ear. He goes, "Bro, look how big my calves look."
Oh my
So everybody, if you watch this live, please say, "Nice calves, Clay,"
God bless America.
with the lifting emoji. That'll make him feel so good.
That's a good one.
Anyway, so
Nice
how,
calves,
how
Clay.
important has networking been, not only in just your short career doing this, but how important has it been just like since you went on your own?
It's been a lot, especially because I've realized how hard it is to do it on your own. Mr. Halford for opening the door for me when I came out of college, and he actually called me and said, "Lauren, would you like to come work for me?" And I was like, "Doing what?
You doing
You
what?"
want me?"
Yeah.
And so he did open that door, and Southern Prairie Outfitters as well. And I have them to thank for a lot, but I realized that my knowledge could help so many other companies outside of the hunting industry.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wanted to spread my wings, and I knew that, but it was hard to figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember making email. I mean, I probably
but
sent.
see, you were in the hunting industry, but you were just really in the waterfowl section. Like
Yes.
you were just in
Yes.
one subsection of the hunting industry. Where I guess if you were to put us in, if we were to determine where we were, we'd probably be in the whitetail, western big game, turkey world, whereas like waterfowl would be kind of our, obviously fishing would be, in there too. So you were even, a smaller subset than what we would consider our strengths too. So now now working with us, you've got to jump over to the whitetail side, some of the western side, some of the RVing side, and just that you've kind of, because I know you talked to me about how you're like, I need to learn now how the off-roading world works, the sand dunes work, because you're doing stuff with Rolly White and Rambo bikes and things like that, and you're like, this is all new to you, which I almost sometimes find as a strength, because the right questions, or you don't take for granted the things you don't know. Like Absolutely. A lot of times I'll go into something like, well, I know that. I don't ask those questions. But when somebody comes in, they're like, hey, why'd you do that? And then I stand back and think about it. It's second nature to me, but my viewer or my audience might not know the answer to that. And I take those things for granted. Yeah. So I think that's a strength a lot of times.
Well, thank you. And it's just kind of, a lot of learning is watching and listening. Mm-hmm. I've always been taught that and tried to embody that. But then there's a whole nother side of it where it's like, okay, I watched, I listened, but I still don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to ask those questions. Who are these people? What do they do? How did they do this? How can I help them?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing for me too, especially going out on my own. It wasn't just about me. It was, hey, I want to work with this company so this company can grow.
Mm-hmm.
I see that in y'all, and I knew that when we talked, I was like, okay, Copeland is spreading their wings and jumping out of the nest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to help that flight.
Well, not even us is like, I look at it even a little more granular than that, is you not looking at how I can help companies grow, but I try and view things as people. Like when I don't think of people, the people we work with as companies, I think of like, how can we help Greg?
Yeah.
How can we help Dudley? How can we help Brock? How can we help, whoever, whoever that person is? Because if you help them, obviously that's helping their company. And I try and simplify it because, this the old adage was it KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I live by that.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that if I can help you, then that helps the company, helps the brand, helps everything else.
Absolutely.
And I'm much better at people than I am at companies.
Oh, yeah.
So,
because behind every company is a person.
Oh, 100%.
Well, you think about it. You sit here in the office and, like, you'll get an email from Dudley, and you'll be like, hey, Ryer, Dudley needs this. It's never, hey, Huntmasters needs this, or Knock on needs this, or Really White. It's always like we always associate them with, like, because they're more like friends.
And we're such good friends with all of them. I don't think, and that's and kind of going back to what the New York guys said, and where they're happy that we weren't professional. And I kind of, and in this business, that's almost a strength, is like being one of the guys. Because I've been in some camps where everybody at least seemed button up, and I was like, this is not a fun camp.
Yeah.
I don't care about coming back to this camp. Whereas you go to the other ones that they're just crazy nuts, and like it makes it a little harder to function in those societies or those camps, but the content you get out of them is always better.
Yeah.
And you get to know people better.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, being relatable. That's the first thing I felt with all three of you when I was here last year, was just how relatable you were to each question I had, each topic we joked about, what we talked about, and that goes a long way. If you can relate to anybody, guys from New York, while you're in Georgia.
Yeah. Well, you can continue to talk nice about us. That's okay. So not only are you doing social media stuff, you also do some photography and photo shoots on the side, and you're also going to be in Canada for however long filming this fall, right?
Yes. And Caleb, I have probably redone 6 websites this summer.
Nice.
Oh, you can have that.
Yeah. Oh, I've done some websites, and I'm not a fan. What was that?
River left us.
Oh, River
Did he
left
really?
us?
Yeah. I was just checking. I saw
he's
him
over
wandering
there.
around.
Yeah.
I was just looking at
He
where
got
was.
tired
at.
of the light.
Oh yeah, he's back there in the
I
shadows.
didn't even
He's
notice.
like,
I'm looking at him.
excuse me.
That
Here he
makes
comes
sense.
back. Hey, look, here's the real star, guys. If you're on the live,
Hey, buddy.
there he is.
Y'all see him?
Hey.
No.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Lick on those nasty calves of Clay's. So photography video for who this fall?
Southern Prairie Outfitters.
Southern Prairie, okay.
Yes. We run hunts in Alberta, Canada, and then we'll come home and guide in Arkansas.
Okay. So they're in Alberta and Arkansas?
Yep. We got a lodge in both places. So
okay.
all inclusive, get your meals.
So what's the goal of that trip when you're filming? Just to get content or to do a series or to
We are doing a series, and this year I wanted a lot of our Austin Boyd has done our series the past 2 years? Yes, 2 years. Austin's phenomenal. Y'all met Austin last year. He's done a great job. And this year I really episode is going to be a little bit longer. We wanted it really story-based, that each episode's going to have a story and a purpose. You know, there's a lot to hunting and killing, but we really want, there's a story behind it. There's a whole reason behind Southern Prairie and why Paul and Jed started this. We want to tell that in each episode. So that's kind of the goal for our series. And we're going to do some short clips, too.
Okay. Y'all done a lot of pre-production planning for it?
I have.
You have? Okay.
We're supposed
At least somebody
to go
has.
over that.
We are when we get done with
Oh, we
this.
are? Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that part.
At some point, we do have to do real work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I didn't know that. So photography, what are you doing there?
So we also, our episodes are sponsored. Yeti, Benelli, Gator Waders, Lucky Duck Premium Decoys. Let's see if I get this right. I miss Rob Roberts Custom Gunworks.
He's just living his best life.
And who did I forget? Anyways, so we have a bunch of sponsors.
Yep.
And we provide them with content. So that's as far as my photos go, will be social media marketing and a lot of content for our sponsors.
Okay.
The first two sound important. I heard they like to pay.
Yeah.
Yeti and Benelli.
So who's managing that side of things? Are you managing that too?
I am.
Very good. Okay. So you're kind of doing it all, huh?
Got my hands in a couple different baskets.
I like it. Good. Well, that all that does is create more experience and it makes you more valuable to a lot of people. That's very cool. You just got back from Nashville doing a shoot too, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that?
Dog kennel.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Dog kennel. So is that a website that you built too this year?
Yes, I did build his. It's a little bit smaller. He just kind of wanted his mission and what he does on his website. Kind of one of my most proud ones is a guy named Chris Huckabee. He has Huck Outdoors. He's from Monroe, Louisiana. A little shout out to Chris. He's apparel, shirts, hats, all for hunting lifestyle outdoors. I redid his website for him, and Chris, it was a pain.
I hope you heard this. I hope you heard those. Every dime you paid me went to good use.
Yes. But I was very proud of it. I was
sure.
glad, and he loves it, and his sales are doing great.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was a good one.
See, that's what it's about, though.
Yeah.
Like, you put a ton of work into it. Like, that's the same thing with us. Like, we'll do a video or a series or something. It's like, oh, my gosh, this is such a pain. This is taking forever and changes and this and that and sponsor obligations. And then somebody that you wouldn't expect is like, hey, man, I watched the show the other night and saw your name in it, and it was really good. It's like, okay, I guess we'll do another one. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, it makes it all worth it. I say that. I don't know. There's some times that it's still, I don't know if it's worth it or not. There's been some times here lately, man. Whew, it's been a wild ride for the last, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, because I guess I'd been asking Ryer some questions, and he was like, let me get back to you. I'm in editing hell.
Yeah, and he absolutely has been. And I've been in management hell, and Clay's kind of been in editing hell as well.
Not to the scale of Ryer's, but.
Well, you've been, yeah. But, I mean, it's just.
Mine's been
hurry up and wait for a month and a half.
It's been open-ending, feels like never-ending projects.
Right.
That there's always these loose ends that never get tied up. And you feel like you get one tied up and another one's loose somewhere else. And you got to go find it and track it down and redo things 13 times. But, hey, that's video and that's
why y'all are as good as you are.
Well.
Although,
with every change, I lose confidence in how good I am.
If we could get more clients to do that Zoom thing like Josh did today, you know how much time we could save?
What was that? So
did you share your screen? I
was on Zoom, and basically I just shared my screen, and I was doing a bunch of videos for Hunt Stand, and Josh knows enough about editing so that he...
Well, that's the problem. He knows enough about editing. Most of our clients don't.
Well, yeah. So I was able to I was playing the videos for Josh in Premiere, so he could see the playback screen and the timeline. So he could see exactly what room I had to work with. So he knew if something was possible or not. And he's like, here, cut this, slide this over here, match those two up. And it saved me having to export 5 videos, upload 5 videos, send them links. And, I mean, I already had Premiere open. So, I mean, if that's something we could do more of in the future.
Basically, it sounds like a virtual version of like what a lot of Hollywood editors do.
Your mic's too far from your mouth.
It's almost like a live Vimeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of the editorial workflow for a lot of Hollywood films is like having the director in the editing suite, and it's almost they kind of work together on it. So it sounds like that's almost a virtual version of that.
I mean, you think about it, you do a 24-minute TV episode. How long does it take you to export that?
That's what I was about to ask.
15, 20 minutes to export, then it takes another 15 to upload. So
then another 15 to optimize.
Yeah, so you got to wait there 45 minutes before you can send the email and say, hey, here's the
Then they've got to watch it, which is 30 minutes. Then they got to type up a thing that's another 30 minutes. You're looking 3-4 hours every single change.
Half a day.
And that's if you're sitting there waiting on every one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a huge time suck. And I think that's the part that in terms of what we do is, and I haven't figured out the best way of doing this, is like when you get a new client or you get a client in the final stages of an edit, how to educate them on, okay, here is the process, because that one tiny thing you want changed, yes, we can change it. But that one change affects all of these things.
And it takes this long because I have to do the finishing process all over.
So it's hard because now you get into TV shows where we have the drone footage and, Osmos and things like that are highly compressed, and then they don't get rendered, and then the final goes out and it looks like crap in the final. But if that's another thing, if you don't watch it through before you send it, that's another 30 minutes. I mean, you're 4 hours.
Or you have an export and the export glitches, and they're like, hey, it's perfect, but there's this export glitch, go redo it.
Yeah.
And websites are the same way because websites are all link-based.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you change one thing in a website and everything else gets messed up.
Yeah, so it's just a...
I wish there was an easier way to send reviews that you could do it before the render process.
Yeah.
If you could send reviews without having to render and upload, it would dramatically cut down the workflow.
Dramatically.
Donkey, we were sitting there, Doc's like, dude, you must have, like, the most beefy computer ever because your stuff plays so smooth. And I was like, no, I was just rendering the files. He's like, what is rendering? And he screen shared his thing. He had a 42-minute timeline, and the entire thing was red. And it wouldn't play. I'm like, hey, player, hit R. And he hits R, and he goes, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Well, he should have checked his sequence settings. It shouldn't have been red.
I've had it. It'll be red if you're really trying to do something crazy with it. Yeah. Something will be red if I'm editing it on my laptop that maybe won't be on my desktop just because of the laptop
the power
is like
of the computer. Yeah.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir, not today.
What you're asking me to do, I cannot. Nor will I. So you're going to have to render first.
So getting back to content and content creation. So what is some of the stuff that you like to watch? Like what's the content, your go-to thing? What do you like to...
That's your new favorite question.
I do. I like to know.
That question.
I like to know what people like to watch because I like to know what's working and what's not.
Caleb, I don't think there's one specific thing I like to watch because as a creative, I try to watch everything so I can pull different ideas and say I like this, I don't like this.
Okay, what do you like then?
I like a story. Mm-hmm. I want it to have a purpose behind it, especially in hunting videos. I think, we get so much. Everyone's filming now.
Yeah.
They are. Everyone is filming their hunts.
It seems like that anyway.
Right. It seems like it anyway. So now I think there's so much more to a story behind a hunt. Like today, Ryer was editing the bonus or the promo clip.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what that, obviously that's the point of a promo, but I knew what that episode was going to be about. And I was like, okay, this deer lucky. I'm here for it. I want to know what happens. So I like that little aspect
Joke's
of
on
it.
her.
Oh, it's
Put a little switcheroo on there.
You really gotta watch it.
went to the bathroom, came back, changed it on me.
Yeah.
But I think I mean, I love drone footage.
Yeah?
I do.
Well, what about drone? Just the perspective?
I think so because, obviously the whole point of us picking up a camera is to capture moments and look back on that, and that's from our perspective. But even from a drone, like, you're still not up there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Being a waterfowl, that bird's eye view, I guess. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I like drone footage, but it's just like, and we've talked about this before, but it's just like anything else. It's like time lapse. It's just like sliders. It's like slow motion.
Exactly.
It can be overused.
Yes.
It can be. You can be beat to death with drone after drone. I think it's
the same. I feel the same way about time lapses.
Yeah, it needs to be a tool in the arsenal. The storytelling has to come back to dialogue and what that story is, and the shots that tell that story the best, and then using the drone and the time lapses and the slow motion, which we don't use slow motion much at all for the stuff that we're using anymore, just because you watch any kind of really well produced piece of content, whether that's Netflix or whether that's Hulu, regardless, there's very little, if ever, high-speed footage.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of people use it as a crutch. And it is pretty. Everything's cooler in slow motion. I mean, I get it. But it's like anything else. Like, drone footage is really cool when it's used correctly. I 100% agree with that.
Which, I mean, you take Netflix, Hulu, like you said, there's not a ton of drone footage in all those shows. I mean, maybe a couple clips, but nothing crazy.
And they're used as establishing shots or transitions. That's what they're used for. And that's what we try and use them for, is transitions. And we do, like Hunt Masters is a really good example. Like, drone footage is usually used for transitions and establishing shots. And I think that's their easiest and simplest usage, and where they're most effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's storytelling comes down to doing a good job of getting that dialogue, producing that dialogue. As a producer behind the camera, you have enough editing knowledge. You're like, okay, I know I need this, I need this, I need this. Now, how do I get from there to there?
Right.
How do I get from the truck to the blind? How do I get from the blind back to camp? How do I get from camp to the next morning? How do I get from this week to the next week? What shots subconsciously tell my viewer to get me there?
Right.
And it's not hard. It's not rocket science, but it's that, like, the planning process. You got to plan that out. Like, I know we're going from Alberta to Arkansas. How am I going to get us from Alberta to Arkansas?
Right. Show the viewer that.
And show the viewer that. So, yeah. So, where are you finding your inspiration lately? What have you watched?
Wow.
So you're not like me. You don't have notes on notes on notes.
Blue stem.
Nobody has that except for you, Caleb.
Yeah, no.
You're the notesinest person I've ever met.
Hey, man.
My
don't
notes
forget.
I guess my notes are more what I want to use. I guess I haven't taken notes from other people. Kind of haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I haven't, like, I watched this movie on Netflix. I liked this, and this. But I did take, hey, I liked that shot and this view, and kind of applied that to my plan, I guess is the way I've used that. I did watch a really good movie on Netflix yesterday.
What was it?
Yeah, and recently I've been really kind of war movies. Not that has anything to do with my production, but
you never know.
Yeah, I like the theatrical aspect to it, I guess, and kind of the way it makes me feel. I think that's a lot too. I was always taught, and you have to portray that a certain way. In order to do that, how do you do that? And so I guess that's why the feeling that these war and crime movies have made me feel recently, I like them. So, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of research on how do I want my viewers to feel and how do I portray that.
Yeah.
So what thing from a war movie made you like, what is something that you saw in a war movie and were like, I bet I could use that technique for my content? Kind of spark something where you're like, I wonder if I should try that.
Let me check my notes, Ryer.
Yeah, check the notes.
I would say a lot of the shot angles, because I feel like especially with waterfowl, it's in the blind, behind the blind, and yes, you get those detailed different shots, but it's really watching, how, like, it's a freaking crime scene. It's a war scene. Like, they have to film that in a certain way. And I think just throwing around the ideas of like, okay, I need to do this differently. How can I do this differently?
Yeah.
So especially with this waterfowl season, I think that a lot of my shots are going to be, whether they're good or not, they're going to be from a different angle you haven't seen. Obviously, you're going to have the same shots behind the blind of birds because you got to have that kind of stuff. But I think just something different is what I'm really trying to get after. Let's see what I wrote down, Ryer.
I'm kind of interested to see your notes. I want to see notes. I like seeing what other people do. However, people take notes, I guess.
Yeah, we should talk about that later. How to take notes, since you two don't know how to organize your folders.
What?
No, Ryer
no.
doesn't know
I know how to.
Why did you say that?
Oh no.
Ryan,
Me? I don't know how to organize my folders. What folders?
About that right now.
What folders are you talking about? No.
Next. Next.
I won't be thrown into the organization room.
You know,
Next.
Which number are you? And which one to mute here in a minute?
I'll yell into
Number
somebody
2.
else's.
He's number 2. Thank you, number 2. Name that movie.
Thank you, number 2. That is Austin Powers. I don't remember which one. Number 2. It's not The Spy Who Shagged Me. Which one is it? Is it Goldmember? Okay.
He told you.
See, I have seen things.
You've seen 4 movies, Clay.
I'm not gonna forget about this. I need to know where my downfalls are in the notes department.
Thanks for listening to the Redneck Tech Podcast. Mike's Archery, Mark's Archery 10. I messed up.
Redneck 10.
Redneck 10.
6. Catch up, bro. Slacking. If this is a race, I've got you. I'm the freeze.
Oh, not last night. Freeze got smoked last night. We went to the Braves game last night, and it was
Horrible.
Braves got the crap kicked out of them. It was terrible.
It was real bad.
Oh, yeah. It was the third inning, and they were already losing 11-1. And Sims was like, what's going on? I'm like, we're getting cream, son.
The good news is
What happened?
Ryer spent $45 and got 2 beers and a hot dog.
Yeah, they hit a
It was a
grand slam.
foot-long hot dog.
They hit a grand slam, a 3-run home run, a solo home run. It was just a freaking bomb show from the Reds.
It looks like watching me take batting practice.
Oh.
Comes from the guy
If
who's
he
never
was
hit
the
a ball
pitcher.
out of the yard in his life.
Yeah, what's your stat?
Oh, bunting, 100%.
What's the stat? Tell it to everybody that you're so proud of.
State of Florida 2014, most bunts.
Oh.
Thank you.
That's not impressive.
Thank you.
Let me see these notes. Okay. All right.
Okay, so this is what I'm really excited about. So
All
for
right,
this,
so you got it broken down by episode.
yes,
Okay.
yes, because I want to have my dates so that I can edit and be done and then go hunting.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's an expectation. It's not going to happen. But with our first episode, we're really going to talk about the effect of not hunting in Canada last year on all these outfitters.
I
How do
like
you
that.
feel like that's going to be, like, personally? Good or bad?
I think it's going to be good because
Okay.
there's so much that clients don't know. You know, we've lost hunters this year that don't want to go to Canada.
Well, because of the vaccine stuff?
That and just don't want to go. They didn't want to roll their deposits over. But,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Southern Prairie especially, this is how we put food on the table.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this pays my bills. And so, you know, we know outfitters personally that had to close doors and
Yeah.
can't go to hunts anymore because they didn't get to go to Canada.
Yeah.
And whether we talk about the vaccine or not,
I don't want to talk about that
no,
vaccine.
absolutely not. But in the episode, whether we talk about
Oh,
that or
yeah.
not,
I got you.
we're going to talk about, you know, just taking a year off from not going somewhere to guide and what
Yeah.
that does to your business.
I'm wanting to see what it does on the big game side, too, like the moose and the mule deer and the whitetails and, like,
all of
Like
it.
what it does, like population-wise
yeah. I mean, it like having no pressure for a year.
in Alberta.
Yeah.
Well, it's already been
think,
stupid.
Think about the Midwest and the whitetails if they didn't get hunted for a year, what would happen?
Jurassic
And
Park.
think about that times 10 in Alberta because there's like 10 times less people.
Yeah. Be like the Lee and Tiffany of Alberta.
You would think. You would think so.
You would
But
hope.
I also thought Nebraska was going to be crazy good for turkeys this year because they didn't hunt them last year. Not good.
Well,
it was terrible.
My question is, like, did that give the people in Alberta and Canada a chance to just whack and stack?
They don't hunt, dude.
They don't.
Like very few of them do. They don't care. They don't care about waterfowl. They care about their canola and bush beer. That's what they care about.
And, you know, it ain't curs.
No,
So
that's bush. They drink bush. Yeah. Found that out.
Never mind. I'm gonna say that.
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested to see what that does for it as well. You know, I mean, this is unprecedented. This hasn't happened.
right.
You know, I think it could be crazy good, or I mean, I'm sure there's a way it could be bad too. I mean,
it'll find that way.
Yeah, who knows in this day and age? Like, no one knows. But anyway, yeah,
I'm excited, and I think and we talked, like you just said, dialogue goes a long way, and being able to ask those right questions, that you get those right answers to tell that story, is something that I'm going to really have to figure out and work on, especially for the guys, like how to tell their side of the story, because they're just jokesters. They just...
Well, most waterfowlers are.
Right. Most men are.
At least true. At least one's I'm going to have to get one of these for Ryer.
But
a shot collar?
A shot collar.
Really? Yeah.
Should call you back.
I'm quitting before I'm fired. Treat like that.
So let's go back to social media, because I skipped over one of my things. So you've been doing that for us, and you've been doing that for some other companies. And obviously that's kind of your bread and butter for the most part.
yeah.
So you were talking to us at lunchtime, because I was going to post something today, and you're like, no, don't post that today. And I was like, why?
Were
and
you
you're
caught
like,
off guard when I said that?
No, I wasn't. I mean, to be honest, I probably should have just asked you before I just said I was going to post something. So
we probably just need to just like say, hey, here's a thing that we want posted at some point in the near future, and then she could just put it into wherever it needs to fit.
You have to tell her about our phone call with Brad on our way to.
Oh yeah, well, I'll tell her.
Okay.
Well, I can tell her on the podcast, because Brad ain't gonna care. So the Black Rifle trailer.
Yes.
So he calls me and he's like, hey, I want to post.
Speaking of which, if Brad's watching this, this is that shirt. This is the taco shirt.
So Brad calls and is like, hey, I want to try and post that. How do I get that to my phone? And I was like, well, he's like, can you text it to me? I'm like, it'll probably kill the quality if I text it, but you can download it on a computer and get it to your phone, or if you have a Mac, you can AirDrop it, which is really the best way to do it. And you could tell on the phone, he's like, you're speaking Greek to me, dude.
Right.
And I was like, and I think you piped up in the back, and you're like, hey, or we could just tell us what you want to say, and we can get Lauren to do it, since you're paying us to get her to do that. And he goes, that would be great. Let's do that. And I was like, well, just send me what you want it to say and when you want it posted, and I'll get Lauren on it. And he goes, perfect. Thanks. Perfect. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Deuces. And that was it. And it's like,
he's been doing it himself, or trying to manage somebody like in the office intermittently, to do it himself for so long that he just like forgot to even think that there's somebody here that to dedicated to do that for you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to worry about it. You just
so he was really excited about that.
Him and I send some text messages back and forth, me asking some questions, and like you said, there's a whole new world that I'm getting to know, and I just ask questions all the time. And we had a little Facebook mishap, and he just finally said, Lauren, I'm not technologically advanced. He stepped back from it. I said, okay, we got it figured out. And I sent him a text back, said, got it. He said, perfect.
Good, yeah. and that's Brad for sure.
What you need to do is just say, hey, look, in order for me to really get a full understanding of the environment and the people that I need to be marketing to, I got to go on a dunes trip.
Yeah, I've already planned on trying to get her on a dunes trip.
You got to go on the dunes trip.
And
drive and get in Brock sandrail.
Oh.
When you go on a dunes trip, you got to go in Brad's side by side. It's the reggae machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got to get in Brock sandrail.
I think
That's
he
one
sold
step
it.
away.
I
What?
think he sold it.
Oh, he did. He sold it to Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting a new one.
Oh.
He didn't sell. He didn't sell it to get rid of it.
He's scared to know what the new one's going to be.
I'm
if the old one was 700 horsepower, what's the new one going to be?
701.
No, it'll be 1,000 plus.
There was one guy
because he couldn't get it to do the wheelies like he wanted, so he's going to get one that does the wheelies like he wanted.
Yeah, he's probably now he's barking up the 800, 900.
Yeah,
just stupid amounts of horsepower. But
I'll
it's basically one. Oh, I'm having it.
I know you are. You got to drive more than anybody's ever gotten to drive out there.
Well,
you can tell I wasn't scared.
That was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, they let me drive the. They let me drive one of the Can-Ams.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they let me do that again next year.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's so different.
Yes.
Growing up from the South. Oh, my gosh.
It.
Growing up from the South, like, it is the furthest thing from anything you ever thought you'd do.
Even, like, okay, maybe y'all don't, but, like, at home in Mississippi, like, we go ride four-wheelers all the time.
No, it's so much different.
The sand
it's
and
the
the
sand,
dunes.
the landscape, the people, the atmosphere, it's just so completely different. It's so much different. I mean, like going off-roading around four-wheelers, like, yeah, I mean, I grew up doing that too, but it's so much different than that.
Okay.
It's
its own world.
It is its own world.
It really
well, and that's what Brad and I talked about.
Driving in sand is like the weirdest thing you've ever done.
The money that is in that dunes. Oh,
stupid.
My God.
Well,
and you would never know looking at everybody rolling around. You'd be like,
no,
there's
you'd
no
be
way.
Like,
and
what
then
do you do for a living to afford all this? And they're like, oh man, I'll cut grass in Phoenix. It's like,
how many grasses do you
cut?
All the grasses. All the grasses.
Yeah.
Every grass.
But it is crazy. And so anyway, getting back to social media. So what's some of your, if you can give listeners like a kind of a couple tips and tricks, like days to post, what to post, what not to post, what does well, what doesn't do well, a couple things like that. Because you talked about days that you like to post and things like that.
Which I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve.
Yeah.
Some short sleeve, some long sleeve. We can kind of let them see a little up the long sleeve.
Yeah.
But I definitely say your posts are thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
I told somebody this actually 7 o'clock this morning on the phone. Social media is a form of advertising.
Yeah.
Newspaper, flyer, it's the same thing. It's just how we get our advertising now. And each post has to be thoughtful and purposeful. You can't just, like you said earlier, you can't just post to post. What is the meaning behind this?
That's what I've been doing. I posted to post. I seriously did. I'm like, I think we need to post up. All right, yeah, that looks good. Do it.
No. So
this is what we pay you.
I think that, having a thought process, I really like my Sunday evenings to go through, and I don't use any apps. So I think being active that's a huge thing. Is social media is just activity.
Yeah.
That's how you know. All right, Clay.
Deuces. Oh, I got you.
So
see, that's dedication to clients right there. He's leaving the podcast.
You know what? I think I just got a call from a client too because I'm very dedicated. I'll be back later, guys.
And he's back.
So
all went well. They love the edit. We're going forward with everything I did.
It said no one ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hasn't been said in a while around this office, honestly, to anyone, not just Ryer.
Not just Ryer.
So yeah, it's So anyway, so Sunday evenings, you like Sunday evenings
so my days. Being active is a huge thing.
Yeah.
You got to be active. I like Sunday evenings to kind of sit down and plan out my week.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I don't use any apps to, schedule them because you're just not engaged. We're looking for engagements. Well, you have to be engaged as well.
Yeah.
So I like Sunday night to kind of sit down and plan out my week. Of course, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah,
just
naturally.
Life, right? So, but even throughout the week as I'm posting, I am purposeful. I am thoughtful. Think of you as a human. We're kind of busy during the day. We're not on kind of. I said kind of. We're very busy during the day. You're not just scrolling on Facebook looking. Think about when you are looking on social media. That's when you should post. That's the best thing that I ever learned and realized, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're recording a podcast. Everyone else is at work or listening, hopefully listening.
Hopefully.
But most of the time, you shouldn't post a picture when you would think someone is busy. Just because they're not active, your post isn't going to do as good.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I've thought about that before, and I've had people tell me times that are good and times that are bad.
And it's different for everyone.
Yeah, and I know there's insights that you can actually look at, but that takes way too much time.
Lauren asked me today, I'm supposed to be the social media E1 out of the three of us, and so we've been talking about doing some reels, and finally we got some stuff to do some reels, and what is going on with this?
You're hung on me.
God dang, Caleb's trying to rip my thing off me with his feet. We're doing some reels, and I think the second thing Lauren said to me today was, "Hey, how are those reels performing?" I said, "I don't know. I just posted them, let them roll." I said, "I know that there's somewhere you can check, but I haven't."
Well, it's a good thing I have every post that we've made on Copeland in a spreadsheet and on a graph.
Nice.
So,
you do?
Yes.
I want to see it.
Okay.
Good.
Just because I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, I am too. I kind of want to see what people like. Like, I was looking back at the podcast, like which podcast had done the best, because like we're starting to.
Hasn't it been like the to do or 10 things to do?
Believe it or not, the number one. Yeah, but you cannot guess what the number one
it's
podcast
the movie
is.
one.
The movie one.
I see. I know it. I knew it. That was my idea too. It was my idea
The
to do that
all-time
one.
movie list podcast has got the most downloads ever.
I knew it.
And then the number 2 is the one with Dudley.
Well, it's Dud.
Right.
Anything with Dudley always performs.
Yeah. So it was surprising to me. And
so
not,
we need to do more of those.
Not by a little margin, by a fairly good margin.
Really?
Yeah. By like over 300 downloads.
I wonder if this one that we did with the Mike's Archery guys would be close to that, because it's kind of in the same vein. It's just out there.
Oh, well, I know we've had a lot of comments on how much people laughed and had fun with that one. And I was really hoping people would think it was funny, because I was like, it was really funny to us. I don't know if it's going to be funny to them. But, yeah, it was a good time.
Movie lists and...
Well, y'all have to watch some movies.
I've been.
How about, you know what we could do? I could assign a movie and we watch it and then we come back in and talk about it.
I would love that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love that.
So this is nerdy, and everybody listening is like, I don't want
Clay's
to do
not going to do it, though. He won't do it. He refuses.
Does he just not like watching
movies?
movies?
He's just a butthole and won't do it.
He doesn't like fun. He doesn't even have a couch in his...
Yeah, how would he watch a movie on his MacBook at home?
I don't know.
God. I don't
I'm going to make him sit up here and watch a movie. I'm going to buy a couch for up here and be like, look, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch the movie.
That would be dope.
That'd be cool.
I want to buy
a sound system in here.
I wish, other than having to move a couch
what we need
every
to
time.
do is get a projector screen.
Oh, yeah, and then you can leave the couch over there.
Or I can just figure out a way to tilt the TV down from the roof.
Oh.
Because I just bought a brand new TV for the class, and then just haven't done anything with it.
Well, I'm already called dibs.
You're not getting the TV.
I want a cockpit in my office. I want to be able to sit and get one of those 45-degree chairs and just got screens all up here.
You can't you can't cuss everything when you do that, though.
Oh, I can. And I will.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so days to post, strategies, be active, post when you're the most on social media. Well, all those things make perfectly good sense, but that's my thing is like, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know, it all goes back to that. And I mean, I'm the world's worst at, I don't know. Do you think it's a generational thing or a age thing? Because you're how old?
I'm 23.
Oh, my God. So you're 11 years younger than me. So that much gap. Well, I guess so. I mean, because I'm thinking like guys my age are like right at the end, or social media is.
Were you MySpace? Were you on MySpace?
For like a little bit. Not really. I had a MySpace.
I
couldn't tell you what my MySpace thing was now.
In middle school, we were like the MySpace.
And I got on Facebook my freshman year of college, because you had to have a college email in order to even have Facebook back in the day.
Oh, that's the OG.
You had to have a .edu to even have one.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was on there with like the 47 people that went to my college. The Zuck, yeah. And then it was during college when they changed that to where anybody could be on there. Then didn't seem like everybody was on there.
Yeah. I mean, I had a Facebook probably at 10 years old.
Oh, my Lord. God, don't say that.
So the reason my mother and I sat down and created me a Facebook, and this is kind of a funny story, and it was just to kind of keep up. I was traveling for all-star cheer, getting into middle school basketball, just to kind of keep up.
You were a cheerleader?
Hell yeah.
I would not.
Yeah.
I could see basketball, but.
Hardcore. Like
really?
13 years. I've been to Disney World 13 times.
Oh, man. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
All while playing basketball in high school, cheering in high school, and cheering competitive. It was crazy.
Wow.
But I think that's why I can juggle so many things, too.
I guess so, yeah. And that competitive cheer ain't no joke, dude.
No.
I've heard some horror stories from...
There are plenty of horror stories.
I've heard some, man. Like,
have you broken anything doing that?
Oh, yeah.
I
had a really bad spinal injury.
Oh, God, makes me hurt all over. The money for that crap? Oh, my.
Which, Caleb, anything that's a hobby.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's going to be expensive.
We can figure out ways to make hobbies real expensive.
Yeah.
That's true.
The competitive cheer world is a money pit for sure.
Yeah, well, if people can figure out a way to suck money out of something, they're going to figure out a way to suck money out of it. Look at where we're at right now with coronavirus. I mean, they're finding ways to make money left and right. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
One of the craziest things to me with the coronavirus is how the shift in marketing that has happened due to coronavirus. Like, you can physically see, like, companies shift their entire marketing strategies to be timely and relevant to whatever is happening with coronavirus at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's crazy to me.
And
explain.
Like, so you've got a company, like, all of the companies have with masks, right? Sure, whatever on Delta, their flight attendants don't do like the whole walkthrough. They have it on the video display in front of you. And like before coronavirus, obviously they made one, but then once they started mandating masks, then they have to switch over the entire video to have everybody in the video have masks. And the same thing with all of the pictures of people look at any major company's marketing campaigns right now. People are in masks, right? So people have had to go and basically redo all of their marketing materials just visually. Same thing to try to like stay socially relevant with whatever is, I guess, the hip and political thing to do. And so instead of having like funny commercials or informational commercials or this, that, and the other, all these companies switch to their commercials being, in this time where we all have to be apart, this, that, and the other. Yeah. And having to rethink entire marketing strategies to adapt to everybody having to be at home.
Yeah.
That was crazy for me to see.
That is crazy.
I hate it.
And just how many resources it must have taken for companies to do that is crazy.
Don't want to know. Don't even want to know, and I'm just ready for it to be over in every single way. So do we have any questions from you today yet? Do we want to get questions? Have we forgot anything? Because I got two things I want to talk to you after the podcast that I just remembered during the podcast. I know, I went through all my notes. I went through all my notes, didn't I? Yeah.
I feel like I've been on the hot seat for a minute. It's so weird having my own podcast, and you can kind of sit back and listen. You ask a few questions, and now
I guess I can probably ask you. I guess I can ask you one of them right now. What is your when do you get back from? When are you done in Arkansas? Do you have a gap in Arkansas?
We have a split. Arkansas duck season has a 10-day split from dates right. December 1st, or it's actually going to be November 30th to December 9th. It's a 10-day split.
Okay.
And then it ends January 31st.
All right, hold on a second. I'm putting something on the calendar because I was going to see. I didn't know what you were doing, if you wanted to come to the ATA show or not. But that's January the 7th through the 9th.
Yeah.
Are you available then?
Sure. Yeah. We can make it where I am.
Because I've already gotten a hotel room for you and Courtney.
Okay.
And I got hotel rooms for you and Clay. I got three hotel rooms. So.
Does it have two beds?
Yeah, they're double. Yeah.
Me and Aaron had to share a bed the entire time in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Want to do the whole pillow down the middle split thing?
Oh yeah. No, I got double beds.
Here you go, guys. Want to talk about being a
outdoor
you guys
producer?
Want to be a field producer? Sharing a bed is a thing that happens. Isn't that right, Clay? Defeated.
Fixed? Not fixed?
Do it. Change it.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
welcome back, Clay.
Clay's back.
Clay.
I also got as soon as you left, it was weird because I then also got a call from.
Well, my phone's being used for the live stream, so I couldn't reply on my watch. I'm not ignoring you. I just can't answer my phone.
Yeah. You do have questions.
Oh.
working so much in the waterfowl industry, what do you see is different from that to like the whitetail big game?
Other side, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because like I look at it from a media side, it almost seems like the whitetail big game industry has its own like group of content creators
Yep.
that don't really do a lot of waterfowl stuff, and then the waterfowl side has a bunch of dudes that
They don't even want to do anything else but
exactly.
waterfowl.
Yeah.
And the
And
whitetail
the vibes are very different between the two types of content.
and
Very.
the whitetail
I do like this.
the
All right.
whitetail big game
Proceed.
people, like the whitetail big game content creators really want to do nothing else because they think it's awesome and they think waterfowl stupid. And then you have the waterfowl people who only want to do waterfowl and they think all the big game stuff is stupid.
Yeah.
But you very rarely see, like Copeland Creative did the blue stem, but other than that, you really haven't done any waterfowl. And you might
By
find
choice.
exactly that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I was just kind of curious what you saw.
Well, and I guess it's because it's super specialized too. I mean, this is me, in my opinion, is guys that waterfowl hunt are like true blue, passionate waterfowl guys. That's what they eat, sleep, and breathe. And the same thing goes for the whitetail guys and the big game guys. Is like, what are you into? And I don't know, honestly, don't know too many people that are like I would if I had to point at that guy, I'd be like, that's a waterfowl guy, that's a whitetail guy, that's an elk guy. I don't know too many people like the Chuck Belmores who shoot and hunt everything at any given time all year long.
well, and we always
And that's-
go ahead.
That's what I was about to say. I think there is kind of that division a little bit. Not division because we all get along, but
I'm just kidding.
the separation because they kind of overlap.
Yeah.
You know, I was just sitting here trying to think of someone that is a hardcore waterfowl hunter and big game hunter.
Yeah.
That really hunts a ton in both.
See, this is how it used to be, and this is how we used to view it back in the day when we did. You know, when we were doing 7 or 8 TV shows when I was a sub 7, is you laid the year out like this. Is like, you know, March through May are your turkey season. You don't do anything else. Summers were always pretty, off times because we didn't do any fishing. We didn't do any bow fishing at the time. And then once you got into September, that was your elk and mule deer. August, September was elk and mule deer. And then from October to December, that was whitetails. Like you didn't do anything else. And then January, that's when you thought about waterfowling for the month of January. Then the cycle started back over. Now with what we do, like that's not the layout anymore. But that was like that. Lee and Tiffany would always do. Back in the day, they would always do a waterfowl show in Montana, and it wasn't in January. It was I wanted to say it was in December.
That's a good time to go.
And then they would they'd always do that, and they'd always do 1 or 2 trips a year, and they'd go to Arkansas in January. But other than that, that was the cycle, and you didn't delineate from that cycle. Now we've got bow fishing, and then we got summer planning, and we got hogs, and we got
Dunes.
trapping and dunes, and
yeah.
I mean it just
Content trips.
there's
random
never
this,
never
that, and
an
the other.
end, and literally we're looking for gaps so we can figure out ways to do more, and
Yeah.
there's not any gaps anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we always make that joke, oh, we'll have to plan that for January, February where there's nothing going on. And then I look at social media and it's like, that's when all the dudes are goose hunting. And it's those 2 months that we sit around and say we're not doing anything,
Yeah.
but we're always busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are still busy during that time. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it's your gap, really.
Yeah.
One of these days.
But you should definitely come goose hunting.
Yeah.
We should work something out there.
I mean, I would. I mean, I've never done. I say that.
I've never filmed or hunted on a waterfowl trip ever. So I would at least try it once.
If I shot one bird out of the air, I'd be stoked out of my
That's how I
mind.
am.
well,
Like
then,
that, I don't even know if I could hit a bird out of the air at this. Like,
Yes,
I
you
would,
could.
I
The
need,
leaves-
We were at my
I
house.
need way more practice.
We were at my house and I was throwing clays in the air with my hand and neither of us could hit it.
yeah.
Wow.
It was not good.
Yeah.
We're both
Okay.
very unpracticed with the shotgun.
then when we get off of here, we're going to pick like a little weekend that y'all can come duck hunt because I think you'll enjoy it. And that is one thing that I've noticed since
You will enjoy. I enjoy going.
Yeah.
I don't like filming it. I don't. It's such a pain in the butt.
Great.
I
Thank
would,
you.
I would film it again like how we did before.
Well,
That
yeah.
was
If
cool.
we
Like,
could,
if you got 4 dudes, all
Yeah.
day I'll film it all day.
yeah, one man banding
When I
waterfowl.
was in
so
when I was in
Y'all are
California,
making me really
it
feel great.
sucks so much.
well, when I was in California, one man banding waterfowl was tough. I was like, my head was about to
Dude,
explode.
It's
I had
so
like 4
hard.
cameras over here trying to follow with this. This is craziness.
It's not fun, and it's never as good as you want it to be because Are you one man banding this whole thing?
Yes.
God bless you, man.
What are you filming with?
A little bit of everything, Sony and my Canon.
Are you allowed to use like POVs?
Point of view, like
Oh,
GoPros?
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I was like, is that a camera I don't know about?
No, so
Yes.
So yeah, we need to talk a lot about that. One man banding waterfowl is the single hardest thing to do. It is. I've yet to find something harder. To do it, because think about this. If you're trying to get ducks and geese on camera getting shot, that's hard enough.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing to do. And then
Yes.
to get that successfully in focus from going bright sunshine, dark blind, bright sunshine, dark blind, bright sunshine, dark. That's hard enough. Getting things in focus, following them, tracing them. Okay. Say you do get on that lead freaking Drake or that lead group and they just slaughter them. Okay. Perfect. You got that. But what you did get is all the talking in the blind.
Yep.
You're going to have a camera rolling the entire time to go back through that. It's going to be stationary. It's not going to be able to. Then that story becomes sound bites instead of production. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's the hardest part about it is the what we did with Blue Stem is the way to go. Virtually, it's a very, very hard to do, and it's very, very expensive. It's the only way to tell the best. You can do a good job. I have all the confidence in the world in you. But to do it, in my opinion, correctly, to do it right, to get the genuine reaction, to produce it correctly, you need minimum 2 shooters, perfect world 3.
Yeah.
So,
good luck.
It's going to be tough. And but what I would do is I would really figure out a way to. The dialogue is what's going to be the most important. I mean, killing waterfowl is one thing. And if you're confident that's going to happen a lot and you're going to get a lot of that, then I would focus on getting a bunch of that. And when I feel like I've gotten a bunch of that, switch your focus to content.
Right.
Because getting every kill shot, you're not going to get it. You're just not. There's no way to get every one of them. Yeah. Even when we were on those trips, like to get every one of them, you're just not going to get them. The only way there is a way to get them is to be wide and watch black dots follow the sky.
Yeah, but
then you can get it. Then who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, we can recreate that in the yard if you want to. So it's like it all comes down to what the goal is. What's the goal for the project? Is it to see a bunch of ducks get shot or a bunch of geese get shot, or is it to tell the best version of the story? And that's where you have to spend your time.
Yeah.
And you've essentially got to do the job of 3 people. And manage social media and take the pictures. And sounds fun. Sounds like a great time. But
we'll talk about my notes.
Yeah, when done right, like I feel like we did Blue Stem right. When done right, it can turn into something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is you can ask Ryer. It is a ton of work. A ton of work.
I'm worried. I'm not worried. I'm nervous about the kind of editing hell. Mm-hmm. And that's why I went ahead and I set my due dates for each episode. I want to have those so it's not Jed and Paul saying, is it ready? Is it ready? And as critique as I am on myself.
How quickly are you trying to turn these around?
Every 2 weeks.
How long are they going to be?
10 to 12 minutes.
So you're going to film for a week and edit for a week, or are you going to shoot every day and try and edit while you're shooting?
I'm not sure yet. We'll talk about that.
Yes,
First
we
one.
should. Yes, we should.
I promise.
Because if you're going to try and shoot every day and come back and edit every night, man, you're really putting a lot on yourself.
Okay.
I mean,
and trying to keep track of a storyline that's changing.
Man.
Every day you'll get new content that will change your story direction.
Which I think the plan kind of is shoot for a week, edit for a week.
And this isn't saying anything derogatory to you at all. I would not want to put that on me or any of the guys sitting here.
Right.
That is a tall order, man. To put out quality stuff.
Yes.
Now you can put a video out.
Yeah.
And I can get you a video. It ain't gonna be good, But I can get you a video.
Hunt Public does it every other day.
Yeah, every other day. But I think they have a guy that just edits. I don't think he's in the field with
Do
them.
they?
Pretty sure he just edits.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I hate that.
See, which we haven't done it, and somebody might steal this idea from us, but the idea we had was to have a guy shooting or two guys shooting and somebody to edit all night long, and the next morning the show airs. That's what I want to do.
The problem with that is sponsors won't like that because they can't review it before it goes out.
Then we do it with somebody that doesn't need sponsors, which is what I would like to do anyway.
Who is that?
Who?
We could do a series like that for ourselves, just for us.
Who would what on what?
I don't know yet. I'm just spitballing.
You don't have a notes?
I'm an ideas guy.
You don't have the notes?
I mean, it would. I still hold that in the right environment. Now, whitetails, this is very hard. I don't think you can do this with whitetails. I think in a waterfowl or even you might be able to do this with a mule deer or an elk, or like just a general trip, is doing like a mini series of behind the lens, where you have a producer producing the actual producer of the content for like a more of a redneck tech type of feel.
Oh yeah, I like the whole nameless thing.
And if you did that like every couple of days, that could be cool. Like week in the life, right? You just go pick a trip and say, okay, this week we've got Ryer's filming, Clay's filming Ryer film, and Caleb is editing at night. And so you film all day, whatever, hand it off to the editor. By the next day, it's out. And so people can literally follow along with the week, with the highs and lows, with the production schedule, with all the stuff. That could be a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
And I know when we were talking about Blue Stem, I remember that being thrown around.
Yeah.
And do it like that day. Who was doing that? Was it the Cameron Haynes did something like that, 2 or 3 years ago? Where it was edited and out the next day. It was like a semi-live.
Sub 7 did that.
Yeah, it was a semi-live. And, I mean, it was okay. I think part of the problem is it's very hard to distilling you can't really distill the story, right?
Yeah.
Because when you shoot for a week and then you come back and you edit, you have the whole week's worth of content with the 20/20 hindsight to go, okay, well, this happened. 3 of those things were awesome. 3 of those things were bad. You can move things around and foreshadow and steer your story to highlight whatever it is that you want to highlight, knowing what happens. When you're doing it day to day to day, you only have that day's content to work with, and you're basically, your box is whatever happened that day. And so it's hard really to kind of drive the story. The story really more or less drives you at that point. So I think that's kind of the trade-off, right? If you film for a week and then edit it, you can be a lot more decisive and a lot more purposeful with the story you want to tell. And I think that the end product comes out with a little bit more production quality. If you're trying to turn it around, then I think that you lose a little bit of the story direction and obviously some quality, because you just literally can't make it that good.
That's why films take so long to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gigantic process. I mean, there's sometimes months, most of the time years of planning, sometimes up to a year of shooting, and depends on what type of movie. But then for editing, you're looking at 3 months to a year to edit, depending on what kind of movie you're talking about. I mean, you're looking at 2.5 years on the turnaround time.
Yeah, start to finish directors live with films for a couple of years.
Yeah, so
through all the pieces of the
and
product.
then you don't know if you're going to make money off of it at the end. You just hope people watch it. A lot of films have fell on their face and lost a lot of money, and some of them, made more than they thought. Like this new James Bond film is going to be the most expensive film ever made. It's $900 million to make this film.
What's the second most?
I don't know.
Wasn't Avatar super, super expensive whenever they made it first, the James Cameron Avatar?
I don't know.
I want to say yes.
I remember like, when it came out, people were like, this thing was stupid expensive and took us like 10 years because we were literally developing the technology.
Well, that's the same way Star Wars. I mean, they developed the technology to make the special effects. Like, that's,
Wasn't that originally what Star Wars was supposed to be? I mean, Star Wars was just a way for
that's what it turned into.
To test out effects. Like, it wasn't supposed to be a big, huge...
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
He's out cold.
Oh, is he?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Is he on the stream? Can you see him? Oh, yeah, you can barely see him. That's awesome. All right, well, I think that's all we got. Y'all got anything else? That's all we got for the podcast. We can hang around to answer a few questions if anybody's got any. But, Lauren, thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Coming down from Nash, Vegas.
Yeah.
Hanging out with us for a few days. You hanging out tonight, or you going back tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure yet. Just
depends on how long we chit chat.
Oh, well, I can tell you it's gonna be longer than you planned for.
Is Ryer involved or is Ryer not involved?
I knew that was coming. All right, guys.
I'm gonna one of these days. One of these days. See, you freaking try to mute me. I can't do it because this is a family podcast, but I'm flicking you off, Clay. I hope you know that. One of these days, you guys will appreciate me.
All right, guys. Peace. All right.
What is up, ladies and gentle folks?
We're still here. If you're the 3 loyal listeners that have hung around and you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise,
so 42 Pros said wireless go-to
caption files are done.
With the mobile adapter would be awesome for the audio.
Say that again?
The wireless go-to with the mobile adapter would be awesome for the audio. Like that that might be our workaround to get the Instagram live at the same time as the...
Can you do that?
Yeah, I wonder if you can split the out. And then you could send one of them to that, whatever that is.
Well, I have we have that. I have those mics.
Does it connect to a phone? Can you do that? I've never tried to.
I don't know.
I know people put lav mics on phones, so
can we?
That might be worth a shot.
Can we do that?
Should we try it now? Well, we can't try it now.
Oh, we could later. Is that
Outdoor Outlaw says backdrop turned out a bad A.
Yeah, that's he's the one that hooked me up and got me the antlers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thank you for sending us a lot of Call Deer Georgia antlers.
Yeah, Call Deer. Just a little guy.
Clay.
Just a little guy here.
People walk in here and they go, "Oh, those from Georgia? What?
These are just
We've
the deer.
Never seen that.
Oh, these are the one I killed in the yard. Yeah, these are the ones not big enough to get mounted. I just cut the antlers off of them.
Oh no, just place them in front of the speakers.
Oh.
So like us, the speakers, because we don't have speakers going. Like, would we just put it here?
I'm so confused. What's he trying to get audio to the Instagram Live?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, does the Instagram Live sound like butt? Because
I'm sure it does.
It's got to, because we're talking through here and it's just Clay's phone.
Yeah, we were just trying to get it up there because Instagram is like their API is locked down.
It's real dumb.
People speakers. So yeah, I guess you could just put it right here and see. You would put it right here.
Do you run? Oh, I bet he's talking about. You just get a cord. Like you can get a lav mic that plugs into your phone. He's probably just saying run that cord to here, and then the audio would at least be louder. Because you can get a lav mic cord that works just for a phone.
Yeah.
And then you could plug it in and just run it.
That's all.
What do you say?
If you wanted to shout out.
Oh, I didn't read it. What's it say?
Nothing. That's fine.
No, I didn't read it. What's
cool.
it say?
No. It's all right. Fine. That's all right. Hold on. In
that case, I don't want to read it.
So I'm sorry, guys, if you're on the YouTube and it looks like I'm not responding. I've been jumping back and forth between the two and not doing a good job. ADHD
oh,
is
yeah.
drug.
We've gotten several
Clay is the king of plugging companies. Yeah, but today I beat him. So now if we go back to the medieval rules of Knights of the Round Table, I am now the king.
Okay.
Because I win.
Winter Productions, video clips or photos better on Instagram? or does it just depend on what?
Give me the question again.
Video clips or photos better for Instagram? I guess in terms of engagement, likes, comments, it doesn't really matter. It just depends on what it is.
It depends. I would say right now, today, Friday the 13th.
Nice.
I would say clips.
Like reels? Or
Reels
specifically
are doing-
reels?
I'm not sure there. It's different on the company.
Why do you say that? You just feel like they're getting more engagement because of
Yeah.
videos? Really?
People are interacting with videos right now. With still images, it's just a look and a scroll.
That's good for us.
Yeah.
I like that answer. Single photo or multiple on Instagram posts?
It really doesn't matter. I think if it's kind of if they flow together, you're fine putting a bunch. But I mean, I always think of yourself. How many times when you're scrolling, you see a picture, you like, do you go all the way to number 10?
I usually watch all of them. I look at all of them.
I watch all of them. Then you post all of them.
I think that's because we're the type of people that can appreciate all 10.
But the first one's got to catch me. If the first one doesn't catch me, I don't look at the rest of them.
I think if you're someone that, like, you just want to see pictures of big deer, if the first couple pictures don't give you the hint that it's a big deer, you're just going to scroll. But people like us that actually put the time into the content are willing to scroll through.
You know what we didn't talk about on the podcast, and I don't know if it probably would have went around a rabbit hole, but like, girl, you can give a really good, honest take on that.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it.
We didn't.
Are you glad we didn't, or you wish you would have?
It's probably good for the Lauren Brady brand that we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good answer, Clay.
All right.
You're
welcome.
Did you take a social media class in college?
Yes.
Because I took.
There was a thing for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I chose to not take that class, and I'm.
The one thing you could add value, Clay. I'm just kidding.
And
Useless.
That class.
You fired.
he's not even listening anymore.
He's hiding his head in shame.
My marketing
The cone of
classes
shame.
were really focused on like brochures and flyers, and like I can make a hell of a cowboy flyer.
Oh yeah, bro. You need a brochure to put in a Holiday Inn Express about Copeland Creative. I got you.
Yes. I've made informational flyers with prices and whatnot.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's good to know
Got
because
that.
I need that. I probably need some help with my dad's business for that.
Yes, heck yes. But like that's not our form of advertisement anymore. It's social media. And luckily I had a teacher my senior year that she was like, get on Adobe Illustrator. She's like, you're gonna figure it out.
I
And
love Illustrator.
yes, me
See,
too.
I don't
You
know.
give me don't have to use Photoshop.
Me too.
Huh. It's good to know.
Okay.
All right.
Video.
Winter
You wanna
Productions
move into
has
the
another
office?
question.
You should move into the.
With that shot edit release, what would your be thoughts for the days? All right, I don't. Can you understand that question? I don't understand what he's trying to ask. Trying to keep clips or videos short, 3 or 4, or less than 1 to 2 minutes. I'm assuming he's asking on Instagram like what the length of videos are.
He's probably asking, should I make it a minute so it's a post, or do I do it longer so it's an IGTV? Depends on the content.
It really depends on the content, and do you want to put all your productions on IGTV? Some companies are more towards YouTube. Some are obviously the outdoor channel. If you're really trying to get people to your YouTube channel, I would say keep it under a minute. So then, hey, here's the link. Check the link in my bio. Then they'll go if they really want to watch it.
Yeah.
If it's an IGTV, I have noticed, a lot of people will watch the first little 15 seconds, and when it says continue
Keep
to
watching, they don't watch
they
anymore.
don't click.
Yeah.
It's just, we're living in such a fast, real.
But I do feel like if you don't have a YouTube presence and you already have X thousand number of followers on Instagram, you might as well at least try the Instagram first because you have the following there.
Yes. I would say, yeah, I agree, Clay. I wouldn't just straight, start a YouTube.
Do we ever get any questions on this?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No,
Just checking stuff.
people don't like to interact with
They
our
really
redneck
don't.
stories.
Lauren told us that Friday wouldn't be a good day to do this, and we went ahead and did it on Friday. So it's our fault.
Our hand was forced.
How do I even get to the live? Oh, I probably have to get off Redneck Tech in order to see the
you
live.
go.
Yeah, broski.
There you go.
Oh, there it
No,
was.
there it is.
I saw it. There we go.
Nice.
Let's see. No more questions. We're good. We done? Yes.
Hey, Cope Creative joined.
I saw that. All right.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we're going to go down and work with Lauren on her pre-production and actually do some real work.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Peace.